once he got to that bottom and we got a couple of those big hooks in him and got some leverage on him, we knew that we were going to get him then.
Yeah.
Do y'all kind of have like a trophy size you're looking for? Do you pick out a specific gator? We're going to try to catch that one, or is it just go and see?
I actually start watching these alligators around March. In March, what they do is the water's still cold, so they come up on the bank to get the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And, they'll go on the west bank to get the east sun. When the sun comes up, well, in the afternoons, they switch over, to the east bank because of the west, sun going down. So we start watching them, or I know I do, then.
So you can have some targets, baby.
Yeah. We do. And I got a great story because we harvested one 2 years ago that we had named the Dark Knight. We had actually hooked this alligator like 6 times and
got off every time.
Yeah. And he had an area in this lake. This lake's down in a hole. And so the trees fall, as the bank is eroding, it falls in there. Well, he had an area that there was a bunch of fallen trees down there in that corner. So every time we hooked him, he hauled butt to that corner.
Gone to the timber.
Yeah. And as soon as he went down there, he swam through those limbs, and he had trees that he'd go under a log and come back up. And so you're sitting there looking at your line straight down, and he pops up, and he's way over here because
you can't get no leverage on him.
He's wrapped your line around something over here, and he's gone over here. Or he'll go through those limbs, and one of them will catch that hook and pull that hook out of him. But 2 years ago, we had drought real bad. So the water was super low in this lake. So all the structure that he had and the limbs and trees to go through to hang you up was all up out of the water. So we went the night before, opening night, went out there, and I was, working the trolling motor. Well, I was bottoming out in spots I didn't, you don't ever bottom out at.
Yeah.
I was hitting some structure that I didn't even know was there. We know this lake well. And so we were riding side by sides the next day. And I said, I need to get the batteries out of the boat, to recharge those batteries. And I said, while we go down there, let's ride out on the lake so I can kind of get my bearings of where everything is and how this water is and stuff. And thank goodness I had a little 22 in my side by side, and I said, I'll just take that just in case. We got the poles in there, and we were out there looking, and man, we looked back and this dude was trucking across the lake, this
big gator, Dark Knight. We were like, that's him, cause he was the dominant. He didn't let nothing else down on that deep part of the lake. So we knew that was him. Are they territorial like that? Those big ones?
They are. So, I trucked it over there and I cut him off from going across the lake. Well, then he went to the bottom, and during the day we could see his bubbles.
Yeah.
Where he was going. So when we saw that, we started throwing the rods out there and the lines out there, and sure enough, we hooked him. Well, he took off towards that corner, and I think he realized going over there, he wasn't going, he didn't have nothing to go through.
All out of the water.
So he wheeled back around and just kind of went back across the lake. Well, then he just kind of went to the bottom.
He got tired.
Got tired, yeah. And when that happened, we were like, oh, yeah, we got him now.
So you could get more hooks in him at that point?
That's when we got the big throw line and drug the bottom and got it and took him. So
how long did that fight take on that big gator? Man,
it was total probably 45 minutes to an hour. It wasn't long. He once he got to that bottom and we got a couple of those big hooks in him and got some leverage on him, we knew that we were going to get him then.
Yeah.
So how many men go with you typically when y'all go out?
It's usually 3 in the boat. 3. And, when you got 3 people know what they're doing, it's really cool because, you got, I'm usually in the front with the hook and the set hook and the throw rod. And then I'm controlling the trolling motor. And once that alligator goes down to the bottom, we got the guy kind of in the middle. He's got the deep sea rod. And then, Todd O's usually always in the back. He's got the big throw line and the big hook. And then that's when they start throwing out, trying to get him. Hooked. And once he gets to the top, you pretty much you turn everything loose. Cause when he starts rolling, he's going, if you try not to
Yeah,
turn
he's
it
gonna
loose, he's gonna break
overpower
the
you.
tip
Yeah.
off the pole, or he's
Yeah.
gonna pull, so you just basically let everything go. Because once he does that death roll and he's done with that, they're spent. I mean, they release
That's that last
all
bit of
their
energy.
Yeah, all their energy's gone.